Hello, aspiring and intrepid game developers, or aspiring game developers, or intrepid game developers, or really anyone who wants to develop games. Developer or no, after all, there is no experience required. Welcome to VGDA. I am Grayson Hill, the Vice President of VGDA, and I will be explaining to you a few things. What we do as officers, and what we can provide to you, how we do it, who we are as a club, and of course, perhaps most importantly, how to join. Now, our job as an organization is twofold. Firstly, we help members network. We help you find social networking events held on and off campus that get you talking with industry professionals, from fellow developers established in their career, to recruiters who are looking for people like you, to even just alumni who have now moved on to careers in the game development field and have their advice as to what you can do or what not to do in some cases. Those past events include beach hacks workshops, game jams, and from the Career Development Center, a game development conference, which were all helpful in introducing people to professionals in their respective fields and introduce them to aspiring developers in your area. All of these help network people together and in some cases have helped to get people jobs. And of course, the other important thing we do is help teach you how to develop games. After all, I said no experience required and I meant it. We hold a variety of workshops, ways for members with little to no experience or members with experience to learn how to work in the Unity engine or design games better. In general, to help learn. Our workshops are hosted by a variety of guest speakers and cabinet members, all working together to focus on helping you. For instance, we have a 3D modeling workshop that will take you through the 3D modeling pipeline and how to design and export untextured 3D models into Unity. So if you want to start learning how to make the art assets for a 3D game, that's one place you can begin. And additionally, for those of you who really have no experience with game development, we have our Unity Crash Course workshops at the very beginning, which are an introductory overview of basic Unity systems and functionality, helping you learn how to place objects in the scene, add components to the objects, which are basically just anything you can add to an object, really. They're all components. And even a basic player movement script with a camera follow, which will go over some of the very basics of coding that you can expand upon, all within a 2D space. Though keep in mind, these workshops are not intended to help you make a game by the end of them. In each one, if you were to do all of them, combining everything in those workshops, you would not have a game. You would have a whole bunch of different parts of a game. The Unity Crash Course would give you basic 2D movement and platforming. The 3D modeling workshop would give you 3D models. A game design workshop would teach you about how to put mechanics together in a way that's fun. But none of them in isolation will help you make a game, and even put together, they won't make a game. They're all about teaching you the parts, teaching you how to understand Unity, how to understand game development, and use those different parts and tools that you learn to build something better with your own creativity, push you in the right direction about how to go about doing things. And with that, I think it's time to show some of the projects that VGDA has made in the past. As you can see, none of these games are identical or even remotely close to our workshop example projects. Not one of them has stuck purely with the basics that we teach in the workshops. They've all shown creativity and diversity in expanding what we've taught or using what we've taught to create something entirely new that we certainly didn't teach. Because that's a big part of what it all is. We can teach you how to design games. We can teach you how to program them. We can teach you how to use the tools to get what you want. But we can't teach you to be creative. That's something that you all have. and you all have the ability to use, we're here to help you express it, to give you the tools to build what you want. And that is really what the Video Game Development Association is all about. Creating an environment for aspiring game developers to learn and grow with one another. All of these games started off with just a simple basic concept, but was made possible through their own teams and VGDA assistance. Like one of the first projects I ever worked on started as a game that took place on a train that one of our members had seen in a dream. And the train would travel through time as you went through it. Then that somehow turned into some weird cityscape game that had a message on autism, which then turned into this strange, we didn't even really have a story for it. We just had a character we called Shadow Boy, and you could transform between Normal Boy and Shadow Boy whenever you went into light. And that was really all we had to begin with. And then it was through VGDA's workshops and through the support of some of its officers that we eventually turned it into a proper platforming game. And you may say, but wait, Grayson, what do you mean teams? I have to work with people. I can't just make League of Legends all by myself in a single semester. I can't just make Breath of the Wild 2 in my spare time between classes, dealing with people. Ugh. And yes, actually, that is exactly what I'm telling you. Game development is a collaborative effort. No person, no matter how experienced they are or how many tools they have at their disposal, can make one of those big games alone. Certainly not within a semester, and likely not within something like 20 years. There's just so many different moving parts to those games, and so many parts that you probably can't even see when playing them, but have to exist in order for the game to exist. That's why we have teams. The most valuable asset you have as a developer, because as soon as you add an extra person and the work is split in two, you can build so much more, especially because that person will not have the same experience or the same ideas as you. And that different experience allows them to build upon things where you struggle, and their ideas can combine with yours and make something greater than you expected. And here at VGDA, we do our best to help you find a group where you can all work together to make the game of your choosing, to find your ideas, build upon them, and turn them into something like you saw on the demo reel. Now, given the recent real-world events that are currently out of my jurisdiction, as I have yet to ascend to be one of the four horsemen, specifically Plague, we will, instead of meeting face-to-face, have to help you meet team members online. However, there are plenty of ways for you to meet other club members. Chat with members throughout our Discord server, or just post a message in Looking for Group to tell people what skills you have and what kind of game you'd like to work on. And from there, team leaders will reach out to you, and trust me, sometimes you'll end up with 3 offers at once and have no idea what to choose. That certainly happened to me, and that was before I knew anything about game development. We'll do our best to help you create well-rounded teams to make successful projects. So, in conclusion, if this ramble about game development has piqued your interest, feel free to contact us on BeachSync and swing by our first general meeting on Thursday, January 28th from 4 to 6 p.m. The link to the meeting will be provided after you sign up for the club on BeachSync, located conveniently in your student portal. And I can honestly say I look forward to seeing many of you there and seeing all the wonderful things that you come up with.